Reported entering our atmosphere last night.
And soon, everyone's life will be transformed. It's looking for a home.
The probe penetrates the brain while these hooks lock into the spinal column.
Using us like puppets?
We're being manipulated.
1 day, 4,000. 2 days, 16,000. In 2 weeks, there would be
More than 250
Can't
dead.
scream until they lick you.
I warned you.
You can't escape when the enemy is within you.
All I know is really you. If it's not, you know what to do.
Donald Sutherland.
Get it off him! Get it off!
The Puppet Masters.
How's it going out there, everyone? Welcome to an all-new video. In this video, we're going to be talking about an amazing 1001 movies to see before you die film. So this is going to be a review about that particular film, and we're going to get right into that soon. But don't forget, if this is your first time here, or you have been here before, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, people, so you don't miss this video or any of the awesome videos I put up. And so let's get right into it, folks. So welcome all, one and all, YouTubers and all subsequent social media lands. Welcome to an all-new movie review. So like I was saying before, this is a 1001 movies to see before you die review. And that is of the film called The Puppet Masters. Oh yeah, The Puppet Masters. So I finally just watched this film. Now this movie came out in 1994 and it's 26 years later since that came out. And I finally just watched it because I recently picked it up through Kino Lorber, and they did a awesome special edition and stuff like that. So this is finally watching that, but also finally being able to, you know, get rid of another mark off of my 1001 movies to see before you die list. So, this film is none other directed by an interesting individual who really has done a few other movies, but really his main expertise has been music videos, which I found interesting. And that, of course, is the director, not an actor, but a director, known as Mr. Stuart Orm. Oh yeah, Stuart Orm. So like I said, he's done some other foreign films and stuff like that. He's directed some. None of them I actually have seen. But one thing that he has been consistent in doing and been a director for many years is actually being, like I said, a music video producer and director. And he actually did a lot of work with Whitney Houston, actually, which I found really surprising. He did, like, I think it was a compilation of one of her greatest hits albums he did videos for. He did some of the stuff from when her first album hit and all kinds of stuff. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But when it comes to his directing of The Puppet Masters, I thought he did a really good job. He gave us this really cool sci-fi new twist where aliens are using us as their host. And I thought that he just did a really amazing job with giving such a great, you know, just direction of the whole film goes. And, you know, he got really great acting out of all the actors and actresses involved, and he just gave us this really cool sci-fi introduction to such a great concept. And I just thought that it was really well-rounded and just really well-directed, and he did a really good job. Now, this movie has a pretty decent cast. Now, it's not a huge cast, but there is quite a few, like, really amazing actors and actresses that are involved with this film. So to start us off is none other than, like, the main actor himself, Mr. Donald Sutherland. Oh, yeah! So Donald Sutherland, of course, you're going to recognize from some things. He recently was just in a FX TV series about the kidnapping of that oil magnate mogul son back in the 70s. He also was in Horrible Bosses. He was in MASH, the movie. All kinds of great films. But a couple of films I really enjoyed him in were such films as a 1999 great film that I think was really well made, really fun, and just a really cool sci-fi film. And then, of course, is a film called Virus. Oh yeah, Virus. Starring William Baldwin and Jamie Lee Curtis as well. Now, this movie is just an interesting idea that a alien entity, basically, that is almost like a electrical source, goes into, like a virus, into a computer system and controls it, basically, and causes it to do whatever it wants. And that's pretty much what the film is about, and them trying to battle this entity on this boat out in the middle of the ocean. And Donald Sutherland plays kind of like the captain that's kind of like a crook and just kind of a weenie kind of character, and he just is so awesome as the character, and he was so amazing in it. And I just really enjoyed all the added kind of Donald Sutherland-isms that he gave to the character. And he played the character to a T and just gave a really great performance in that film. If you haven't seen Virus, definitely give it a whirl, people. His performance is really fun. And Jamie Lee Curtis and William Baldwin were really good in it too as well. The second film that Donald Sutherland was in that I really enjoy and think he had another great performance in is none other than a 1978 classic that's also a sci-fi film and a remake of a 1950s film. And that, of course, is a film called Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Oh yeah, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Such a great movie, such a great concept. Another one where we're basically cloned by the alien creatures, and basically they take over and our bodies get disintegrated, basically, is pretty much what the premise of the alien, what it does to people. And Donald Sutherland plays like the main lead in the film, where he's trying to figure out how to stop this and how to save the world, basically. And it's just a really well-made, done remake. I mean, you had a great cast in it. I mean, Jeff Goldblum was in it. He was really awesome in it. And it just was so well conceived, and I just love how they took it to the next level, gave it a little bit more of a gore factor, gave it a little bit more of a more intense feeling versus the original, which is more like a B-movie. And Donald Sutherland just brought a great presence to the character. It's one of his earlier roles, and I really get that great feeling from who Donald Sutherland was and how he's such a great actor. And that's how his performance was in Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And I just thought he worked really well with everyone and just gave us this really intense and awesome character that you kind of, you follow through the whole movie and kind of fall in love with him and kind of hate his end outcome. And you just wish that he got a better outcome than he does. Just a really great performance by him. And if you haven't seen Invasion of the Body Snatchers remake from '78, definitely check out, people. It's an instant sci-fi classic. Now, it comes to his performance in The Puppet Masters. It was your classic Donald Sutherland character that was really done well. And just all around pure perfection. And I always enjoy him no matter what movie he's in. Even if it's the smallest role, smallest cameo, he still is so great at what he does in his craft. And he did that in this film and gave us this really great kind of bad guy performance. And ends up just being like this really cool kind of like end character kind of story arc and everything with his son and all this kind of cool jazz. And it just was really a fantastic performance. If you haven't seen Puppet Masters for Donald Sutherland's performance, definitely check it out for his performance. He was amazing. So that brings me to the next actor or actress I like to talk about. And she is really the other kind of main character in the film besides the guy that plays Donald Sutherland's son in the film. And I'm not very familiar with him, so Julie Warner I am a lot more familiar with. So, the next person I'm talking about is Miss Julie Warner! Oh yeah! So Julie Warner has had big success in the late 80s through the early 90s, mid-90s, late 90s. Kind of, straggled out around the 2000s and really hasn't done anything recently. But she is a fantastic actress, and I always enjoy anything she's ever in. Now, a couple films I really enjoyed her in that I think she gives really good performances is none other than a great classic from 1995 starring the late, great Chris Farley and the awesome David Spade. And that, of course, is a film called Tommy Boy. Oh yeah, the great Tommy Boy. So Tommy Boy, of course, is a great Peter Siegel film that he directed. Is produced by MTV Studios, or SNL Studios too as well. And this movie is just really amazing. And Julie Warner plays a great character, and she plays kind of the love interest of Tommy, aka Chris Farley, in the film. And she just gives a really great performance that I think is very underrated. She's really funny, and I think she has some great one-liners in the film. And I just think she really brought a great presence to that character that she plays in the film. And she really interacted well with everyone that she had to interact with in the film. And I just thought it was a really fun performance. If you haven't seen Tommy Boy, definitely check it out, people. Or, are you living under a rock if you haven't seen Tommy Boy? Hello? That brings me to the second movie that Julie Warner was in that I think was a great performance of hers. And then, of course, is the film that came out in 1990 and stars Michael J. Fox. And it's just a really interesting kind of comedy, kind of drama film that has a lot of interesting aspects to it, and she just plays a really fun character. And then, of course, is the film called Doc Hollywood. Oh, yeah. Doc Hollywood. So this is the first film, actually, Michael J. Fox found out that he had Parkinson's on. And you can tell in the movie that he started having some instances in the film where you could see him trembling a little bit from, him finding out about his diagnosis. But at the same time, Julie Warner plays kind of the love interest character of Michael J. Fox's character. And there's plenty of scenes in the film where she just really interacts well with Michael J. Fox, does a great performance, very dramatic sometimes. At the same time, then you got a few comedy elements that she added to the role, and she just did a really good job of being this great kind of love interest and just an all-around, really well-rounded character in the film. Such a great film, though. And great performance by Julie Warner. She was fantastic and really well-rounded, like I said, and just all around a great performance. And just really enjoyed it. And if you haven't seen Doc Hollywood, give it a whirl, people. It's a fun film, really interesting. So as for her performance of the Puppet Masters, she was really interesting because she played such a very kind of cold and very blanket character, where she was very kind of systematic and almost like a robot, where she had really no emotions or anything like that. And I thought that was really interesting how she played that, and she did a fantastic job of portraying that. And I thought she interacted really well with everyone and gave us this really amazing performance that I think she should definitely get more credit for this role versus any other role she's ever done. She was fantastic in this film, and I thought she was a great kind of co-starring actress in this film, and that she should have gotten more props for how amazing she was in this film. Really amazing performance for her. So if you're a Julie Warner fan, or if you're interested in seeing something else you haven't seen her in, definitely check out The Puppet Masters. She was fantastic in it. So what is The Puppet Masters about? Basically, the premise of the story is the government is looking into this. All of a sudden, there was kind of a unidentified flying object that landed in a certain town, in a certain city, in a certain state. And so as they are investigating this, they start to come across people that are acting weird and different than they usually do. And then they end up finding out that there's some sort of alien entity on this ship that landed, and they got to figure out basically how to stop it and keep it from taking over the world and taking over all the people in the world. So, I mean, it's a really interesting, awesome sci-fi film. It's one of the first ones I've seen with real genuine mind control type of deal, where the creature itself is inserting itself into the person's brain to be able to control it. And I thought that was a really cool concept and just a really well-rounded type of sci-fi idea that I hadn't seen before. So I was really impressed with this film. I think this is one of the best 1001 movies to see before you die type of film I've ever seen. I give this movie a giant 10 golden movie boxes up. I just thought it was really fantastic and a great addition to my collection. And just a really great film. If you have not seen Puppet Masters yet, definitely give it a try. It's worth the film. It's a great product. It's a great, interesting film. And it just has a lot of great character to it. So definitely check it out, people. It's worth the watch. So that's it for this movie review, guys. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. And also, thank you for being a subscriber. Or if you're just becoming a subscriber, thank you. And also, people, if you're interested in my Patreon, definitely check out the link down below for my Patreon, where you can get cool exclusives to what my next project is, behind the scenes, bloopers, and all kinds of cool stuff. So that's something you should go ahead and check out that Patreon link down below. And thank you for becoming a subscriber, or if you are interested in doing it, thank you for doing it. And as always, people, I'll catch you in the next one.